Chapter 8. The 9 Variations. Sun Tzu said, "The fundamental rule in the art of war is this. The general receives orders from the ruler, gathers people and horses, and forms an army. Once the campaign begins, certain principles must be followed. Do not camp in areas that are difficult to move through. In regions with many intersecting roads, form alliances with neighboring states. In places where survival is hard, do not linger. Move quickly through such terrain. In areas surrounded by natural obstacles where it is easy to be trapped, detailed planning is essential. When the army is pushed into a desperate situation, the only option is to fight with unwavering resolve. There are routes that must not be taken. There are enemy forces that must not be attacked. There are cities that must not be besieged. There are territories that must not be contested. And even if the sovereign issues a command, the general should not blindly carry it out if the situation demands otherwise. These are called 5 advantages. A general who understands how to evaluate the advantages and disadvantages of different battlefield variations truly knows how to lead an army. If a commander fails to understand these variations, even with knowledge of the terrain, that knowledge cannot be fully used to win battles. Without mastery of the 9 forms of adaptation, even an understanding of the 5 advantages will not be enough to unlock the true strength of the troops. A wise commander always weighs both benefit and harm. When things seem favorable, they still consider the risks. This allows large matters to proceed safely. When things appear difficult, they search for opportunities. This helps avoid disaster. In every situation, they remain balanced and clear-sighted. In dealing with rival states, pressure them with what they fear to force submission. Push them into action by exposing them to danger. Use small gains to attract them to your side. The rule in warfare is this. Do not rely on the enemy not showing up. Rely on your own readiness to face him. Do not depend on the enemy not attacking. Depend on your own strength to make sure he cannot succeed. True security comes not from hope, but from preparation. There are 5 fatal flaws that a general must avoid. The first is reckless bravery, a willingness to rush into battle without caution. This can lead to falling into the enemy's traps. The second is clinging too tightly to life. A general overly concerned with survival is easily captured. The third is being quick to anger. An impatient and emotional leader can be manipulated or provoked. The fourth is a hunger for honor. A desire for reputation can lead into prideful decisions and dangerous traps. The fifth is excessive compassion. A general who tries too hard to protect his soldiers may lose control of the army and face constant disorder. These are the most common and dangerous mistakes in military leadership. Many armies are destroyed, and many generals are killed, because of these 5 flaws. This is why they must be understood and avoided with the utmost care. Let's explore this passage with Lazy Scroll. Chapter 8, The 9 Variations, is the shortest chapter in the art of war, but its content is relatively scattered and overlaps with several other chapters. Sun Tzu says that if a commander does not understand the 9 variations, then even knowledge of terrain will not help him gain advantage. Because of this, some scholars have argued that this chapter might have been more appropriately placed after Chapter 10, which focuses specifically on terrain. That way, readers would first understand the types of terrain before learning how to adapt flexibly. In fact, some technical terms about terrain only appear and are defined in Chapter 10. That said, we'll still follow the original structure of the book. The word variation here refers to adaptation or flexibility. It means adjusting beyond rigid rules. The number 9 in Chinese literature is often used generally, not literally. It doesn't mean exactly 9, but rather many. So, 9 variations can be understood as many types of flexible responses. If you don't understand the art of war, then you won't know how to fight. But even if you follow the methods of war and still fail, it's likely because you didn't understand how to adapt through these 9 variations. The battlefield is ever-changing and complex. That's why Sun Tzu emphasized that commanders must adapt to the terrain, respond to the situation, and react to changing momentum. They must remain flexible and avoid rigid thinking. Different battlefields require different strategies. Victory comes from careful yet flexible decision-making. Take the simple line, "There are enemies one must not attack." It sounds straightforward. But when we reflect on our own lives, we often find we don't follow such clarity. We fail to let go of things we should avoid. We attend social gatherings we should skip. We drink what we should not drink. Many believe that being constantly busy is a virtue, chasing every opportunity that comes. But in the end, we spread ourselves thin and accomplish little. Sometimes, it's wiser to pause, reflect, and focus on what truly matters. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more.